What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Druga Foxy. Alright guys, so the random question of the day is, what sport would be the funniest if you added a mandatory amount of alcohol to? NASCAR? No. I think tennis would be really funny if you added a mandatory amount of alcohol to it. Like, you know, everyone, including the line judge, has to chug a beer after every point or something like that. I think it'd be really ridiculous after just a couple of points, especially considering the scoring system for tennis is a little bit wacky anyways. But let me know what you think right down there in the comment section below. So today we're taking a look at this guy right here, the Druga Foxy from a company called Augvape, with a big huge shout out and thank you going to Augvape for allowing me to take a look at one of these devices for the purpose of making this video. So I'm really glad I got to try one of these things out because this thing is absolutely gorgeous. It definitely fits my aesthetic. I really like the simplicity of it all around, and I'm loving using this thing in variable voltage mode. So taking a look online, this device comes in two different color options. You have the silver version like I have here, and it also comes in gunmetal. This one's going to run you about 65 bucks for the silver version and around $70 for the gunmetal version. If you guys want to pick one of these things up, I'll have a link on my website. Link to that will be right down there in the description below. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the Druga Foxy in its original box. So let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then we'll take a look at what's inside. So first and foremost, lovely looking simple packaging with this one here. Just a nice little display window so you can see the product right from the outside of the box. You have your logos embossed in a nice subtle kind of matte gold finish there. And on the top and bottom we have Augvape logos in a silver emboss, and on the sides we have augvape.com, and that is matched of course on the opposite side as well. On the back, pretty much nothing. Very basic packaging, no specs, no information about the device, nothing like that. Just a scratch and check, a little company information and some warnings. And down here we have our UPC and color indication. So let's go ahead, take off the top of the box. We've got this little foam with a kind of a black velvety sort of lining. With the device itself, we'll take a better look at that in just a second here. And underneath we have the little Druga Foxy card. On the back side, it's all the battery warning stuff, so make sure you're using the right batteries with proper wrappers and all that good stuff. And we have a very simple little booklet style manual here. Nice gold emboss on that. Some color graphics and some information and some curves and all that kind of crazy stuff. So if you're curious about the power or anything like that, it's explained all in the manual. So very good information in this manual, and it's booklet style too, so no points off there. All right guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it takes two high amp 18650 batteries. It's got a proprietary chipset. Maximum wattage output is 150 watts. Voltage output range is 0.5 to 6.5 volts. The resistance range is 0.05 to 3 ohms. Variable wattage mode, variable voltage mode, zinc alloy chassis construction, automatic resistance reader, 9.2 millimeter by 5.2 millimeter OLED display, magnetic IML battery panel, magnetic user interface IML panel, intuitive firing button, 2 adjustment buttons, atomizer quick release button, gold-plated 510 center contact pin, and 510 quick release connection. Alright guys, let's set up the Druga Foxy. First thing we're going to do is take off the battery door panel just like that and flip out our ribbon. It is marked in the bottom of the mod, the negative and positive for which way your batteries goes, which is nice. Spring-loaded top connections, so you just push against the top and they just fall right into place. Flip our ribbon over just like that. Positive up on this side, and just like that, it is all set to go. So now, if you want to change your settings, it's a little bit difficult to see the screen like this. I believe this little window is tinted, so we're going to remove this panel, and as you can see, it's got this sort of cool looking design to it. And yes, it is very shiny, and a massive fingerprint magnet, but you can see the little tiny screen on there. And there you go, it's showing our voltage right there and our battery life. It doesn't show much else, which I'm okay with, to be perfectly honest with you. We've got our negative and positive up here, so power down on this side, power up on this side. And if you want to change it to variable wattage mode, then just press and hold these two at the same time, and now it's in variable wattage mode. That's really all there is to this device. There's nothing much else to show you guys. So to turn this thing on and off, it's just 5 clicks on the fire button right here at the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, and it is off, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's back on again. So that's pretty much it as far as functions goes. Then there's the quick release up at the top section here. Hopefully you guys can get a good look at that. Basically, you just press this section in and it opens up the 510, so you can just basically quickly attach or detach any atomizer you wish. So let's just quickly show you that. So press it in and stick a device down on there, let it go. And you still might have to turn it about, a turn or a turn and a half or so. But other than that, if you want to take a device off of there, you press and hold, and you kind of got to wiggle it a little bit before it comes out. It kind of worries me a tiny bit that that's going to wear out eventually. The threads are going to get kind of gnarled up or something like that if you cross-thread it or something. But in any case, it is kind of a nice convenience feature for those of you that really like to just change up your RDAs and tanks all day long. The only other thing I'd have to say about this device is that there's no USB port on it whatsoever, so you can't update the firmware at all. You're stuck with what you got with this one here. Also, you can't charge the device with a USB, obviously, so you're pretty much stuck taking the batteries out to charge. I am perfectly okay with this because I always take my batteries out to charge, but if you don't have a separate charger for your batteries, then you're pretty much stuck. But that's about all I've got for you guys in this close-up section. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of this video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off with the pros, my first pro is that this thing is just sexy as hell. This is one good-looking device, totally fits my aesthetic. I really like the chromed out outer sections, and the pattern on the front and back is really cool as well. Just super simple and super classy. I just really like the look of this thing a lot. My second pro for this one is that it's ridiculously simple to operate. 5 clicks on and off. You have the power up and down buttons, and it's just press and hold the power up and down to switch between variable voltage and variable wattage, and that's pretty much all you have to know for this device here. And my third pro today is that this thing hits super duper hard. Now, I don't have the technology necessary to give you guys charts and graphs on how hard it really hits, but with that, it feels like it's putting out the appropriate amount of power, and with that, it also only has to run this little tiny screen here, so you get no delay from when you press the fire button to when this thing actually fires up. You get no battery lag or sag or anything like that with this one. And my fourth and final pro for this device is the battery life. Now, this thing only runs dual 18650s, but with that, I'm running at about 65 watts. Anything under 85 watts or so, you're easily going to get a full day's battery life. With 100 plus watts, then you might run into battery life issues, so just be aware of that if you want to get one of these for yourself. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is the flimsy plastic panels. Now, there's a panel on either side of this device, and with that, they're really, really cheaply made plastic panels. I feel like if you're going to be taking these off all the time, it's going to be the first thing that breaks on this device. My second con for this one is the unnecessary quick release function. Now, I'm sure some people out there are really going to enjoy this feature, but me personally, I just don't really see the need for it. Now, I really don't switch up my tanks all that often to really necessitate a quick release function on a mod, but some people are going to love this feature. It is a little bit quirky sometimes too. I've got it held all the way in there right now, and it's not letting go until I really have to wiggle it pretty hard. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just kind of unnecessary, and it's only for the people that are swapping out tanks and drippers all day, every day. And my third and final con for this device is that it lacks a memory function. Now, one of the main things about this device that's really the downfall of it is the fact that you have to take off the panel every single time you want to change your functions on this thing. As far as I'm concerned, one thing that would really tie in the quick release 510 connection is having a memory function, maybe 3 clicks on the button or something like that, changes from your different various memory settings, and that way you could have a preset for whatever device you wanted to put on top, therefore making it a lot easier to change it out and then quickly set your wattage setting or your power setting for each individual device. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for a review? I'm going to say yes to this one. I've been using this thing a lot lately, and I've been loving testing this thing out over the past few weeks. With that, it's one of my favorite variable voltage mods that I've been using, right up there, maybe a tiny step ahead of the Augvape V, just because of the little tiny screen on there, and personally, I just am in love with the aesthetic. So if you guys want to pick one of these things up for yourself, I'll have a link on my website. Link to that will be right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Leave your comments down in the box below, and make sure you check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.